to Gimme with the Bros.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 9 of Gaming with the Bros.
What's up, everybody?
I'm here with
Episode 9.
episode 9, almost 10.
Almost the DD. Double digit.
I'm here with my brother Nick. My name is Harrison. So welcome to the show, whether you're watching live or catching it on the audio side.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate everyone watching. We reached over like 100 downloads over the last week or so. So that was pretty awesome to
cool.
see. Yeah, and then like you were just telling me there's someone in South
Korea.
Korea. So shout out to whoever that is. I appreciate you.
If you're in South Korea listening to this, then thanks.
Yeah,
I don't know how you found it, but
so it was kind of a light news week, other than that little Nintendo Direct, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
yeah,
But,
it was. I mean, it was a pretty short. I won't get into it, obviously, but it was just a pretty short direct for Pokemon. Talked about a couple things.
Well, it's funny because like every time they announce a direct, they're like it's gonna be approximately 20 minutes or 21 minutes. They like really like carve out a specific time.
They're really setting expectations because I think
Yeah.
they used to do it where they just say there's a direct.
Right, and then it's
Really
like
kind of
10
analyze
minutes.
how
you're
long is
like,
it going to be, and how many announcements can they fit within 30 minutes or 35 minutes. But
which I mean, I think Nintendo always is they're not always the most exciting things, but like
yeah,
as far as their directs go, they do a lot of them, and they're always very specific on what they're talking about, like whether it's Pokemon or Animal Crossing or what have you. So
yeah, I was kind of hoping they were going to do like a normal direct.
yeah,
So it's kind of bummed out that they did the Pokemon one, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's not a whole lot on 2020's plate in terms of Nintendo right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that towards the end of the show with the topic, but
yeah, I feel like.
But I don't know. I feel like we'll maybe get one more direct before the E3.
Yeah, for sure. I think at least one more. Maybe
they'll do it like an Animal Crossing direct. I kind of hope they just do a kind of a general direct and kind of announce some new stuff or something. But
right,
we'll see. Yeah, maybe we'll get one or two more, I would imagine, before E3, and then obviously we'll get something pretty nice.
I hope so.
Let's go ahead and start off with what we've been playing. I really haven't. I feel like I always say that, but I haven't played a lot of Witcher this week. I've just been, ever since we got back from like Christmas break and stuff, we've been like slammed at work. So like,
oh really?
So, like I come home and like I'll play obviously a little Ring Fit, get that in there, and then I actually just canceled my gym membership because the building we moved into has like their own gym there, so it's kind of like a maybe 2 times as big as like a typical like apartment complex gym.
Okay, it's got some good.
Yeah, it's got some pretty nice stuff, and it's got everything that I need.
Does it have like a bench, like a?
Yeah, it's got like a bench. It's got like leg press. It's got like elliptical and all that good stuff. It's pretty much got everything.
Nice.
Jump ropes. They got jump ropes there too.
Does it have like a bench press, bench?
Yeah, they got one of those where you can raise it so you can do squats and too if you need to.
Oh, cool.
It's
like the
assisted, like all the like the free weight stuff too. So if you prefer doing that kind of stuff, so yeah, that's what I've been doing, playing some Ring Fit. I just got into where you start doing like smoothies and stuff.
Yep.
And it's pretty. I wouldn't say it's a full-on RPG, but it's got like some pretty nice like light
expansive. It's surprising.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, whenever you were talking about it, I just wasn't expecting it to be kind of as detailed and deep as it is. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like even down to the enemies you're facing are all workout related.
Yeah, and then you get like I think after you fight, I think his name is Drago. Like the second time you unlock the color specific workouts where you do more damage and stuff. So that was pretty cool to see. And then I think it kind of bummed me out a little bit because I lost to, I don't think I lost to Drago, but I lost to one of the fights or something, and it started me all over. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to like do this.
Yeah, it's
again. That's kind of a bummer. I feel like
it's a blow to morale.
Yeah, I feel like it should restart the fight maybe, because I mean you're still obviously reworking out. I mean, I guess it's a win-win for either way because you get more.
Right. It's like, how mad can I be? Like,
yeah,
I'm still doing my workout.
I'm really just trying to work out, but yeah, it's just still a little bit annoying. And I was having trouble. I didn't at first, but whenever I do like just the regular squats, I don't know if it was my pants that was hitting, or my shorts that was hitting the blue Joy-Con, but it was like causing some sort of interference. So it
Mhm.
was like I would go down to squat, and then whenever it says, go back up to do that and get the great damage or whatever, like it kept saying it was weak or something. So it wasn't quite calibrated right. So I had to calibrate
Uh,
2 or 3 times during that session.
that's weird. I've only had some issue. Like sometimes I'll have it too high or too low on my thigh,
Yeah.
and that'll make it like a lot.
Well, I think the shorts I
Or,
was wearing were shorter than the ones I had been wearing.
Mhm.
Like the longer ones would cover it all the way, but the short ones kind of just hovered right over the stick of the Joy-Con. So
So it
maybe
might have been pulling on it a little bit.
maybe that had something to do with it. So I just had to like retighten it and
Do you wear it on your bare leg?
yeah.
Okay, I started doing that, and it it's like it's a lot more stable on there than it would be on shorts.
I put it underneath on direct skin or whatever. But I've also been playing Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. I've been diving a little bit more of those 2 levels.
The King of Cards.
Yep, the King of Cards. I don't know if you haven't played Shovel Knight, it is probably one of the greatest values in gaming. Like it is so good to
Oh
get that
yeah,
Treasure Trove for like I don't know how much it is now, maybe $40 or something.
I think it's 40. It was like
Because
20
I
bucks
got
or
it for
15.
like 25, I think, when the Switch first came out, and then obviously I had it on the 3DS, but
Right.
wanted to play it on the Switch. But it's pretty cool. I do enjoy the fact that all the campaigns are like pretty different. I mean, it's all prequels to Shovel Knight,
Mhm.
but King Knight is more of like he kind of dashes at the opponents, and then once he hits them, he kind of jumps up in the air and he like twirls down, and then that's how you bounce off of enemies and stuff. And that's how you also, if you're you hit an object or something to do like some platforming and stuff. But I just hit the part where there's actual like card game mechanic in it.
Okay, that's about as far as I got when I
Yeah, so
played.
it's pretty cool. Like I've forgotten about it. I knew it was in there, but then I just wasn't thinking about it until I actually got to that part. And it's pretty cool. It's like a grid-based system, and there's like 2 or 3 gyms, and you have to basically fill up the entire board, but also knocking out your opponent's cards. And sometimes knocking out your cards to kind of make better plays.
Right.
And like some cards that can only go left, or if they have an arrow facing right, they can't be pushed from the right side. So it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty deep strategy game, and it kind of reminded me of The Witcher in a way, because
Mhm.
they had that card game in there, Gwent, and I wasn't expecting to like play it a lot, but once I started playing it, like I got super into it. So
Oh yeah.
it was pretty cool to play. You said
Yeah,
you've
but
go ahead.
that the card mechanic or the card game in King of Cards, that is a requirement
Yeah,
to
yeah.
move forward, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's not so yeah, I guess The Witcher is I guess you could go through the whole game without playing a single game of Gwent.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
pretty
there is
sure.
there is a side quest where you play for someone's life, but that's about it. I mean, that's a side quest.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so it kind of just in that aspect where it's like a game within a game, but
yeah.
it looks like for King of Cards, it's more of it is a requirement to advance the story. So, but yeah, that was pretty cool. I'll probably chop away at that game a little bit more. Um, it's not one of those games where I'd necessarily play for like hours and hours straight, but it's fun to like before bed or something, just knock out a level or
Yeah, because
whatever.
they're pretty short. They're like
Yeah,
probably less than 20 minutes to get
yeah.
through
It was kind of
a
like
level.
I feel like the campaigns were a little bit harder than the original Shovel Knight. Maybe just because like the gameplay is different and it's maybe harder to get used to because you're kind of used to that basic
Yeah.
gameplay mechanics. But yeah, I died quite a bit on King Card so far. Just I
Even
don't
the
know.
platforming was kind of
Yeah, I think
like
that's really what it is. Like the enemies are, I mean, it's pretty easy, but yeah, the platforming gave me a little bit of trouble at
yeah, some
first. I think it was
sacrifice
just more so just getting used to that game. So
and getting used to that style of game again
yeah,
because I haven't played. Oh, it's my laundry.
No.
I haven't played the Shovel Knight game since Spectre of Torment came out
Yeah.
back in March of 2017.
Oh, so you haven't played Plague Knight, have you?
No, I played Plague Knight. Plague Knight was before Spectre of Torment.
Oh, okay.
That was so. It was, I think Shovel Knight was 2013, Plague was 2015, and then Spectre 2017.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
They've been bound to this Kickstarter goal for years and years.
Yeah.
They're finally done.
Hopefully they've sold enough copies though of it to make it worth it. Because they've been bound to that thing for a while.
And they've been pretty forthcoming about like their sales performance. I think they said for Plague Knight, well, I know for Shovel Knight it did really well, but for Plague Knight I think it broke even.
Okay.
Yeah, on everything. I think Spectre Knight probably did better, and then I haven't heard anything about King of Cards, but I mean it's $40 for what
for
is effectively 4 games and then a
4 games.
multiplayer
Yeah.
Smash type
Which
game.
that I haven't is Showdown new, or was that part of the original Shovel Knight?
Showdown is new.
Okay, I haven't played that. I don't really know how that goes, but I know the original multiplayer in Shovel Knight was kind of like a asynchronous multiplayer where, one person would kind of do what was it, get the gems or something, and the least amount of jumps or something like that, or the fastest, and then you came up and you kind of saw their ghost go along with you. So
Right.
that was kind of neat for for what it was. It's nothing.
Yeah,
nothing
it was a
crazy added.
cool add-in. Cool add-on.
Yeah. But other than that, I did download the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon demo.
Okay, have you played it?
I did. I actually completed the demo. It's a fairly long demo. It's about 45 minutes, maybe. So I don't think I played this game at all when it came out. I know you did.
I
right?
did. I played one of them. I can't remember if it was the Game Boy Advance one or
Yeah.
the DS one. I think it was the DS one, but
Okay.
I didn't get all the way through. I was
Yeah, because I played because I kept thinking of Pokemon Ranger. Do you remember that game?
yeah.
Where you like
The
draw
stylus
it
one.
around the around the Pokemon to catch them?
That was pretty cool. That was a cool.
Yeah, I would like to see them remake that because I had that's what I thought it was. I was like, oh, that's awesome because I think I actually finished that game, but yeah, once I downloaded it and started playing, I don't remember it all. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's like kind of like a
It's like a dungeon crawler.
dungeon crawler, kind of like a super Diablo light torchlight. It's pretty cool for what it is. I mean, you wake up as you're a human and you wake up as a Pokemon, and it kind of asks you these series of questions based on your personality, and then it picks like from a pool of like 15 Pokemon, and I ended up getting Mudkip, I think. And then if you don't like that Pokemon, you can say no, I want something different. And then you get to pick a buddy. And I ended up picking Cubone. I think you could pick like Charmander and Pikachu and Bulbasaur and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the main starters and then a couple of random. I think it's just maybe up to Gen 3 at that
So
point.
they haven't added any.
Yeah. I think when that game came out, I think it was either Gen 2 or Gen 3. So it's either up to those. And then you start and your character gives you a home or whatever, and then basically there's all these what do they call them? Like these events, these destructive events happening around the world, and you have to basically rescue Pokemon that are in need. So it's pretty cool. You go in there, and it's kind of like a grid. I don't know, maybe kind of like Zelda-esque dungeons where you kind of go from room to room, and then you kind of it fills in the map as you go. And there's different floors and stuff, and depending on the mission or the side quest you're taking on, it'll say, hey, Caterpie is trapped in floor 3 of this dungeon. Go save him, and you fight Pokemon and all that good stuff. So and the fighting system's kind of like any other kind of dungeon crawler game. You just click like on the A button and it auto attacks for you, and then you can hold down the right or left trigger, and then you can change moves as well.
It's pretty cool.
I guess if there's something like more effective against something, you can do that. And then obviously your buddy does the moves too, and they can collect coins and chests and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I did enjoy my time with it. The only thing that kind of just worries me a little bit is it does not look like a $60 game.
Yeah. Like, are you talking about graphically? Or are you talking about?
No, like graphically, it's beautiful. Like the way they redid that animations and all that good stuff. It looks great. I don't know. It just doesn't look like a full price game. I mean, when this game came out on the
But still.
3DS or DS, I think maybe even I can't remember. It might have been the original like Game Boy Advance or something, but I'm sure it was maybe $30 or something, $40. I'm not
Yeah. I don't
probably
know.
40. I think 40 was like
Well, I don't know. Back then,
yeah.
it wasn't until the 3DS that they even went up to 40.
Right, yeah. So it might have been $30.
Hmm. I
I
don't. Yeah.
can't remember the original price, but I don't know. It just doesn't. I mean, coming from Zelda, like like we've been talking about Link's Awakening, that was a beautiful game, an awesome port. Just I don't know, just didn't feel like a 2020 $60 game.
You talking about Link's Awakening?
Yeah, Link's or 2019
Right.
video game. So this is kind of what I feel is as well.
Probably more so. Like,
Yeah, probably more so because I mean, there's a lot of game to it. I mean, there's definitely like kind of like a little hub world where you go to where you can train and
Mhm.
purchase stuff and put your money and stuff away because they say if you die in the dungeon then you lose. I don't know if it's all the money you had, but it's all the money that at least you gained while you were in the dungeon.
do you have a
So there's
chance
like
to
I don't
grab?
know if there's a chance to go back and there's certain items you can have equipped to where if you like fall in the dungeon, it'll revive you.
Mhm.
But I don't know if it's like Dark Souls where you can kind of go back and get your stuff.
Okay. Are the
But it's
are the
not.
maps randomly generated?
They are, yeah. Every time you go into because there's like a board or whatever, like a message board that you go to, and Pokemon will um you know do requests to be saved or whatever. And but it is cool because like if you have 3 different requests in this one dungeon, it'll say, hey, Pikachu's on the second floor, but also there's a Pidgey on the fourth floor. And then it'll say after you rescue Pikachu first, it'll say, hey, you've got more missions. Do you want to continue? Or you can say no, work me out. So it's pretty
Oh,
cool
that's
that
cool.
it kind of stacks the missions. You don't have to like replay it every single time.
I wonder if that's a change from
Maybe that might be a nice
the.
quality of life change.
Yeah.
That might have been something that people were kind of irritated about because
I
yeah,
could
there's
see
like
that. I could see that happening with the old one.
yeah, because there was 3 missions I took on, and there's only 2 dungeons that I've been to so far, so it just let me it said, hey, do you want to go on? I was like, yep. So it was
Nice.
pretty cool.
I have it downloaded on my Switch. I just haven't opened it up yet.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. For what it was and what it is, I like it. I think the graphics look nice. It's very very beautiful game. I do kind of want to see what it looks like on like just handheld mode.
Oh, you played it on the TV?
Yeah. I downloaded. I think I downloaded it yesterday,
Mhm.
and then I just started playing it today. I wanted to play it before the podcast so I can talk about it. But it's pretty cool for what it is.
Now, the question is,
Yeah,
are you gonna buy it?
I don't know. It might be one of those things where I wait and see if it's
Mhm.
like a nice you know a nice value for your buck or something. I might pick it
Yeah.
up. But
Maybe if it comes
as of right
in.
now, I'm not because the way you move is kind of weird. It's almost like you're on a grid or like a tile or whatever, and it's not like fully dimensional, if that makes sense. Like it's not like when you're out in the main world, you can move on the stick and you have full range of motion. But when you're in the dungeon, you don't have that because whenever a Pokemon that you're fighting comes into the picture, it's almost kind of like turn based if in a way. Like if you
Like
don't move,
live turn based.
right, yeah. So if you don't move, they don't move. So there's also like another, you can either do like up, down, right or left, and then I think if you hold R, you can go diagonally.
Okay, but it's not like omnidirectional where you can just.
No.
Well, that's
Um
kind of like old top-down Zeldas.
right, yeah. You can definitely tell it was originally made for like a D-pad.
Yeah.
So it was cool for what it is. It's I did like the gameplay and stuff.
Mhm.
It just seems like kind of like one of those games where you're laying in bed and hey, let me knock out a couple dungeons real quick.
Right.
But as of right now, I don't really think I'm probably gonna pick it up. But it's
You're not
just
super sold on it.
not super sold. I mean, the story was decent, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It seemed cool, but
Nice. Yeah,
check it
I need
out.
to play it. I
Yeah,
might play it on the train tomorrow or something.
yeah. Now if it was like a $30 game or something or $20,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I'd definitely pick it up. So I don't know. After this whole Nintendo Direct with Pokemon, I'm a little, I don't know. They
Little
seem to be
wary.
a little cash grabby.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, but what have you been playing?
So at work, our busy season
Yeah,
started this week.
yeah. Mom said you had to work a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I just worked from home,
Yeah.
but and it hasn't like ramped up all the way yet. I think that's what this next week is going to be. So it hasn't
Mhm.
been terrible. But I have had a decent amount of time to play The Witcher. So I've been grinding away.
Get back into it.
Oh yeah. So I got to Skellige, did all of the mainline quests there, did a few side quests, few contracts, and I feel like monster wise, Skellige is where the game really opens up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you've fought any Cyclops or
Uh, I, mm,
because I didn't see him until Skellige.
I, the only thing I can think of is whenever I was doing the Witches of Crookback Bog or whatever,
Mhm.
the Crones. I was riding Roach around, and there was some like pretty large monster walking around. I don't know if it was a Cyclops or some sort of giant or something, but
Right.
I saw him, and there was like 3 question marks over his head. So I was like, nope.
I'm gonna nope out of here. But there's been a very, very good variety of enemies in Skellige, and all of the contracts have been fantastic. And even like the main story going through Skellige, and I think I'm at the end game now.
Okay.
I probably have a few more hours, and this isn't a spoiler, but you're gathering people
Okay.
for a thing, and I'm at that point, like
Okay.
getting everybody for the big thing. Um, so yeah, so I'm pretty close to the end, and dude, I'm so excited to get into the DLC because I've
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
such good things about both of them.
Yeah. I say people say it's like some of the best like pieces of DLC ever.
Right. I
But
think
do it.
Heart of Stone is where like the first one you're supposed to start, and then you do Blood of Wine. I think.
I believe so. I think Heart of Stone came out first.
Okay.
I believe so. And I wonder if I'm assuming you can play it separately. You don't have to finish one to do the other.
I think there are level caps or level requirements though.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Recommended levels.
Yeah. So that's pretty nice to hear because like I'm not at the point where I'm like, okay, I need to fight some more monsters,
Mhm.
but I haven't really seen much other than the typical drowner or water hag or whatever. I have been knocking away a couple of like Witcher contracts. Like I did the one where I can't remember what it's called, but it's almost like a griffin. It's right outside of where the Bloody Baron town is.
Okay.
It was like the mission where the kid's father gets killed or something and gets dragged away, and you have to go find where the monster lives or whatever. So that's pretty cool. But I'm starting to get like some really nice pieces of armor and like weaponry and stuff. Like I finally got like
Yeah.
a new silver sword, which I was like, am I ever gonna get one? Because it's been a while.
Yeah, it took me forever. Like when I was in, is that Velen?
Yeah, yeah,
Velen,
Bellin,
right?
yep.
Yeah, when I was in Velen, I just did not have a good silver sword.
Yeah, I kept finding like nice steel swords, but I had the same Witcher silver sword for like the first half the time I was playing.
Yeah.
So I finally got a pretty nice one, and I've started upgrading my skill tree and making like combining mutagens and all that stuff. So it's definitely starting to open up, and I'm definitely glad I picked it back up and
Right.
Properly dove into the game, because I don't really know what I was thinking the last time I played. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I don't know.
You hadn't watched the show 3 times yet.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shout
there
out
have
to
been
7 seasons plan.
yeah, hell yeah. I'm all for it. No, that like The Witcher, I didn't really expect it, but I've been forced to make a choice between 2 decisions where I'm like, man, I really don't want to do either one of these,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid of the outcome on one of them if I choose the other.
What did he
And
say? And when you're left, or when you're stuck between choosing the lesser of 2 evils, I'd rather not choose at all.
I don't want to choose. I'd rather not choose.
Yeah, but
But yeah, that's kind
definitely,
of how it's been.
yeah.
And I'm wondering how different the game would be if I played it another way, because I don't know, like some of the side quests kind of go down a rabbit hole if you choose one decision, and I'm wondering if you still get those same quest lines if you
Yeah.
choose the other dialogue option and kind of go with that.
Yeah, that's
So,
kind of interesting, because I remember finishing the Bloody Baron mission when I originally played, and spoilers for that mission, if you have not played it, but that part where you go into that underground tree or whatever, you like go into the root system, and there's like that evil, I don't even know what it was. There's like some sort of evil mass that was like stuck to the tree.
right.
Like he was said that you could free him and he would save the kids at Crookback Bog, but in doing so, you ended up killing Anna, the Bloody Baron's wife or whatever.
hmm
So, and then the Bloody Baron ends up, of course, hanging himself at the end. But
Oh, that didn't happen for me.
so, what happened with yours?
I think so. The first time I played The Witcher 3, when I played it on Xbox, I think I killed it,
Okay.
but I don't believe I finished that. Well, I did finish it. I just don't remember how it ended. This
Okay.
time, I went in there and I think I killed it.
Okay.
I don't remember anyone dying specifically. I don't remember any kids dying. You talking about the kids at Crookback Bog?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember them dying.
Yeah, because maybe I just wasn't super paying attention at that point. But yeah, he mentioned the kid, like saving the kids, but then there was no mention of it again. And then at the end of so basically, I guess I'll tell you how my situation happened. So I ended up getting all the he ends up wanting like a horse and a couple other ingredients, and he ends up going into the horse. Like he becomes like the horse. So I
The
don't know,
Bloody
maybe
Baron?
no, the that monster underneath the tree. Like
Oh,
his mission is like you have to go get a horse and a couple other like ingredients and do this like ritual, and he basically becomes the horse, and his eyes are like glowing red and stuff. So I guess I don't know if he goes in and saves the kids or whatever, but he's like an evil spirit. So I don't know,
you let him live.
huh?
You let
Yeah,
him live.
I let him live.
Oh my, he looks so evil. It was just
Yeah. So anyway, so like I let him live, and I didn't think anything of it, and then you go, to deal with the crones,
Mhm.
and the witch hunters come, and the Bloody Baron's daughter's there. I can't remember her name, but she's
Right.
there. She's a witch hunter with the Eternal Fire group or whatever. And the crones sent out like this huge like demon monster.
Right.
Did you fight that?
Yep.
Okay, so I fought that and killed it. And then you find Anna in the one of the houses, and she's turned into like some sort of monster. That happened. She's like a
Oh,
bluish green monster. And
she
then
was
you have
just sick from
okay, yeah, she was like a plate monster or whatever. And I think she ends up like helping you fight, so you get like an extra character to fight with you. And then you have to go underneath the crone's house and pick the right voodoo doll to save her. But then it turns out you go back up there and she ends up dying anyways. So then
Oh,
and then of course, Bloody Mary's daughter wants to have nothing to do with him anymore. And, you go back to his town and you walk up the walk up the road and you can see him hanging from the tree, like in front of his house. So he killed himself.
What?
And then there was like, and then after that, there's like a quick little like video of like a monologue from Geralt. And he's like, and he talks about the lesser of two evils, like the exact same way he does in the show. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then he was like, if I would have killed the tree or whatever, maybe there would have been a different outcome or something. And then that was it.
Okay, so I didn't know how much of an effect that had. Yeah, in mine, the last time you see him, he's going off to like find a way to cure his wife.
Yeah.
And he's gone for the rest of the game, I think.
Okay.
So that's crazy. I forgot about the evil mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, the implication that had.
Yeah, because he mentioned saving the kids, so I was like, okay, cool. And it had no, I don't know, it didn't say, hey, you should, really make this decision because it's going to be a different outcome for the mission or something. But
Right.
it was just kind of cool the way it turned out that, I killed it or you killed it and I did it. And then like our stories were like completely different.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
pretty awesome.
Well,
but anything else you've been playing?
Well, I do want to talk about one more thing.
Yeah.
So what's the bard's name in the show?
It's Dandelion.
It is Dandelion?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was at a point in the game where I was with Yennefer, and we were taking a boat looking for some treasure, and like they had like a little monologue while the boat was sailing.
Yeah.
And they were talking about some past adventures that they had.
Yeah.
And one of them was when Geralt found a djinn and almost ruined Dandelion's throat because of
that's
it.
awesome.
And then they talked about another one where they were finding the golden dragon. And
wow.
Yeah, and how like Geralt was about to fall off the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they were just flirting back and forth about like the view, and she was like, "You were the only view that I wanted to see," or something like that. But I was like, "What the heck? I didn't even know they pulled from the game like that for the show, because that was just a direct tie to the game." I don't know if it was in a previous.
Well, it might have been. It might have been in the books.
Oh yeah, that was probably a reference to the books.
Yeah.
Then. And then the show got it.
Yeah, because the show takes place, I think, before Witcher 1. So it's okay. Yeah, but that's pretty cool though. I mean, see, stuff like that you would have never known. That would just been kind of like a little side thing.
It would have just been another conversation that I listened to, but
yeah, and that's why I'm so excited for season 2, just because I think now that everyone's kind of caught up in the timeline, that it's just going to be, it's just going to go forward. There's not going to be much.
Yeah, they're just
back and forth with past and present stuff like that. So, which I mean, after watching this the second time, I really enjoyed the way they did. They did everyone's character and stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, that game's great. I mean,
it is. I know we've been talking about a almost 5-year-old game a lot, but it deserves it, and I can't wait to finish it.
I feel like most people feel that way too. Just the increase of playership on it, on Steam and whatever, just because of the show. I mean, they said they were like up to like 100,000 concurrent players or something like that for a 5-year-old game. A single player 5-year-old game. That's insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, that just shows the power of like television and like making these awesome franchises and spreading them out across different media platforms.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting whenever they get this Halo series working. That's supposed to be still.
That's been in the works for
a while.
Seems like forever.
I mean, I think they just said that Uncharted lost like its 7th director or something.
They do have the lead, right? It's
Tom Holland.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
Well, it's Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. He's Sully. He's Sully, yeah. So it's like a younger version of them than they are in the games. But I just think it's more. I don't know. I just prefer more of like television style stuff for games if they're going to go that route. I think that's just a better time than like
movie.
You can only do so much in a movie.
Right. That's the problem is you already have all this context and you're trying to fit it, or all this content, you're trying to fit it into an hour and a half to 2.5 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Can't
I
do
just
it.
feel like, especially with The Witcher, and then
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for the Lord of the Rings TV show coming in the
Yeah.
future. That looks pretty cool. Or I don't think they showed any footage of it yet, but it sounds cool. So so yeah, I just love, especially with The Witcher, just how enthusiastic it makes you to go back and play some older stuff. So,
Right. Right. I wonder. I bet the book sales have gone up a
oh, I'm
lot.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure they've gone up a decent amount too.
Right. Well, Project Red deserves it. Project CD Red.
Yeah.
CD Project Red.
CD Project.
CD Red Project. They deserve it 100%.
Yeah,
Excited for
so hopefully there will be a Witcher 4 now. I mean, there was probably already plans of them doing it,
Yeah, probably after.
but
They're
definitely
probably working on
after.
it right now. Now that they've
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much wrapped up.
Cyberpunk should be out in a couple months, and
Yeah.
we'll see. We will definitely see.
But that's about all I've been playing.
Okay,
I've been full in. I haven't played any more Death Stranding.
gotcha.
I think I'm gonna put that one on the back burner until I finish Witcher, and am satisfied with how much I've played Witcher.
Yeah,
So, and it's just easier to play it play Witcher in handheld. Like I have to physically be home to play Death Stranding.
yeah.
Play Witcher on the train or on the way to work or wherever have you. So
That's the beautiful thing about the Switch. It's just taking it with you. It's
yeah,
it's such an awesome console.
yeah,
Such a cool console.
best console ever.
It really is super awesome. Okay, so you want to go ahead and dive into some of the news?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been kind of a lighter news week. Let's start with a couple of charity based stuff that I've kind of managed to pull. Infinity Ward is selling an Outback pack to raise money for Australia. Obviously the horrible fires going on over there, and killing millions and millions and millions of animals is pretty heartbreaking to see, especially growing up watching Steve Irwin. I know his family is doing big things over in Australia to help try to fight the fires and stuff and raise money.
Yeah. I love watching his son.
Oh yeah, he's like exactly like him. It's crazy. Like, it is crazy. So that's a cool thing for Infinity Ward to do, and I'm sure a lot of other developers are doing the same. And then also, I don't know if you ever have watched Awesome Games Done Quick or AGD.
I have, yeah. I've seen a few of their streams.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not super into like speed running myself, but it is awesome watching those videos and seeing the crazy. Yeah, I'm more for not necessarily glitches, more for like just people you finding like tricks and stuff to beat these games quick, but
not just going from the first room to the last boss.
Yeah, or something like that. I mean, it's cool to watch and be like, oh, that's awesome. But so they raised their $3.13 million for charity. So that's yeah, that's pretty cool. That it's they say it gets bigger and bigger every year, and they have like a huge presence on Twitch. There's one streamer that I watch that I think his first year at the speed running was a couple years ago, I think. But yeah, it's a super cool thing to watch every once in a while.
Were they raising money for the Australia?
No, I mean, I think they do like the various funds, like various charities. I think the one they did this year, it may be every year as well. Let's see.
I know St. Jude is one of them.
Yeah, they do like various charities, like Able Gamers and Doctors Without Borders and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So it's that's pretty cool.
Cool. That's really amazing. $3 million is.
Yeah, that's insane. There was like they said it was like 54,000 people donated or something.
Wow.
So that's awesome.
And people love watching speedruns too. So
oh yeah, it's super popular.
Yeah, I watched. I don't know why, but I watched a Fire Emblem Fates speedrun, and it's just crazy how you can speedrun a turn-based strategy game. But
yeah, there's some games you would think that was not possible. Like you can speedrun, which is crazy. But
and then seeing all the crowd reactions when like people do a really insane trick or a glitch.
Yep.
everyone just kind of goes nuts.
Yeah,
and-
like oh my gosh.
yeah.
Um,
Cool.
Assassin's Creed Ragnarok was leaked over the past week.
Another day, another Ubisoft
Another
leak.
leak.
All right.
I haven't actually played Assassin's Creed since I think we've been talking about this over the past couple of weeks, but since
Yeah,
really
we
since
talked about this
4.
with Trey last week.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So I mean, the setting it's like a Viking setting, so I'm super into that.
It's gonna be the one, man. I'm gonna play this one. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it.
I mean, after coming off of God of War and their whole like Viking-esque setting they had in that game, I'm all for it. Assassin's Creed, I think it really turned itself around over the last 3 or 4 years when they weren't releasing a game every single year. They can kind of
Yeah.
take their time and really do it right.
After Unity was like a dumpster fire,
Yeah,
and then they did Syndicate, which was better.
it was better, but it was still like just not.
It was still
super
like
great.
a yearly Assassin's Creed, and then they took the year off.
Yep. So this was cool. So it's got stuff in the leak. It mentions like up to 4 players, drop in, drop out co-op, kind of like Ghost Recon Wildlands. So I really think that, like every game they make is just going to be a huge open world that had just it has like endless stories and stuff that you can create with your
endless
friends.
points of interest.
Yeah, that's kind of like what they've been going for the last like several entries now in their kind of mainline stuff. Obviously they got newer RPG mechanics, more weapon types. Looks like there's some sort of elemental based stuff with like lightning, fire, and frost. I mean,
Nice.
they've
Did they
kind
have
of taken Assassin's Creed and made it more. I mean, obviously it's a fictional series, but the first couple ones were kind of more of like in a realistic world.
Yeah, they were more grounded.
Yeah,
Aside
definitely more
from
grounded. There wasn't
diving
any sort
from-
of like. I mean, I think towards the end of 3, and I think it's into like Brotherhood. There's
Mhm.
like some sort of higher power spirit that came and talked to you or something. So I guess it's slowly started to make that move, but now it's like I think in the newest one you have like straight up superpower. So it's I mean it's cool. I don't really care as long as it's a fun game. They said obviously stealth is returning. Mentioned like conquest battles and stuff.
Mhm.
Battles between like independent kingdoms. So it looks like it's a really nice sounding game so far.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a solid entry.
Yeah, and I don't know if they've ever had co-op in Assassin's Creed before.
Unity,
Unity had it.
and that's partially why it was a dumpster fire. It just didn't work.
So I mean, it sounds cool. I'm about it. I'm excited for whenever they release that trailer.
Yeah.
I think not have played the last couple of Assassin's Creeds, and I know the last couple have been like pretty awesome. So I probably won't play them and just go straight into this, super fresh and just kind of ready for that world again.
Right. Kind of have your mind blown by all the changes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But kind of the biggest news of this week, Nintendo released their 20-minute or so Pokemon Direct. They talked about Pokemon Home. That's supposed to be coming sometime in February was when they mentioned it.
March.
Was it March? Okay.
Yep.
So Pokemon Home, if you don't know, it's just kind of what they've been doing with the 3DS. What is it? The Pokemon storage system where you can kind of bring your Pokemon and stuff.
I can't remember what it was
across
called.
games and platforms and stuff.
Pokemon
So
Bank.
that's just kind of like an overhaul, I guess, of that system.
Yeah.
So you can bring pretty much every Pokemon into that home. Now you can only bring Pokemon into Sword and Shield if they're in the Pokedex. So, but you can bring that stuff over if you want to. They also talked about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. They announced that.
That's coming out in March.
Is it March as well?
Maybe Home is February.
And
Mystery Dungeon
is March. Either way, it's pretty soon.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful, like we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
Just not sure if it's a $60 game. That just kind of
Guess
seems a
we'll
little
see.
much for. I don't know. Like it's hard to kind of
Hard to
And,
justify that.
and again, it's like, you're paying for the Nintendo tax, but it's hard to pay more for a game that's almost 15 plus years old and was not
And
$60 when it first came out.
yeah, and especially if they
So
don't do much to it mechanically. Like I get like a graphical overhaul is
yeah,
great.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't play the original, so I don't know if there was any quality of life stuff
Yeah.
or like that, or what they added to the game other than what was in the original. So there may have been more stuff they added. I don't know, but it just seems like a little bit steep, and we'll talk about here in a second, but a little bit
Mhm.
cash grabby for Pokemon fans. So obviously the big news was the Sword and Shield expansions.
DLC
Yep,
2 rounds.
first time I think there's been DLC in like a mainline Pokemon game, which is really cool.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's much better than doing the half-ass upgrade.
Yeah,
And
where
repackaging
you
it.
buy
So
another full price game, you're getting maybe a little bit of a spin on the story or something. Obviously, new Pokemon, new legendary, but you couldn't ever bring over your save, which is the unfortunate thing. It was all
right.
you were always starting fresh. So for people who are super hardcore in a Pokemon, they've bought in Sword, they've bought Shield, and then if they didn't say they weren't doing another game, like I don't know, Pokemon, I
I
don't know,
mean,
Spear, I don't know,
if
but
anything, I think they do a Diamond and Pearl remake.
yeah. So I don't think they'll do like a third version of the game
Mm.
at this point since they've got this DLC. And the DLC is $30 for both of them. You get the Crown Tundra
Yeah.
and the Isle of Armor. And they're more, I think they said they're the in the zones, it's more of like the wild area.
They're entirely wild
Yeah.
area. I
So that's
rewatched
pretty
it
cool.
today just to make sure, but
Yeah. So that's super cool that they're full on going in that direction, because I think that's what fans, they enjoyed the wild area, but they just kind of wish there was more.
right.
So it's nice that they're doing that in these DLCs.
That's
So
really cool. I'm wondering how they're gonna do trainer battles with I mean because with what I'm saying, like outside of the wild area, you're kind of in like these corridors or these
yeah,
walkways where trainers are on like either side.
hmm
If it's a
maybe
big
they'll just
open
be
wild
out.
area,
Maybe they'll just be in the overworld or something. Or maybe it'll be like a wild area, but then at some point it'll kind of narrow down to where you have to fight. But
yeah, I guess that's a very simple solution. Never mind.
so we were talking about kind of being a cash grab earlier. So
Mhm.
my main, I don't really care because I'm not a super hardcore Pokemon fan. I mean, I do enjoy it, and I understand people have Pokemon from like Red and Blue that they've carried with them over 20 plus years or so.
Yeah.
So I don't have that connection with my Pokemon. I just kind of play it. I've actually enjoyed the fact there's not 900 Pokemon in the game, that it kind of makes it
Makes it
more
more
reachable.
attainable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to obtain all these Pokemon. There's only like 400 something. So it makes the goal a little easier in my mind. But I
Mhm.
can also see why people are pissed because the main thing they said about all this Pokemon was the animation, and the animation isn't super detailed. I mean, there's some nice looking
Not
stuff, but
great.
it's kind of what we've been used to. And I know with the DLC, if you don't buy it, someone can trade you the Pokemon, so you could still get it that way.
Mm.
Obviously, that's going to take a long time. If you're just refusing to pay for it, but if you're a hardcore fan, you're going to buy it.
Right.
And they said with the DLC, there's going to be 200 plus Pokemon coming, some new, but most of them are going to be kind of the older stuff that you're
Right.
used to before. So in a way, it just kind of feels like it's paywall to play with more Pokemon and use them.
But you can I think they said you can bring in those additional Pokemon.
Yeah, from Pokemon Home or whatever. Yeah, you can bring those in.
But you can bring them in September, I think, like into the actual
Yeah, whenever that
game.
first piece of DLC drops, I think is probably when you can bring them in. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I'm not super pissed about it. I'm more excited the fact that Game Freak is kind of moving along, and they're kind of playing catch up with other studios. Obviously, DLC has been out since, gosh, the Horse Armor and Oblivion.
Oblivion. It's forever.
So I mean, it's taken them so. I mean, and they don't have to. I mean, they have one of the biggest game franchises in the world. I mean, they don't have to do these major iterations. But I think right now with Sword and Shield, I think fans aren't as happy as, coming off previous years. So I think Game Freak is probably going to take, all this negativity towards these games and maybe say, hey, we should actually, listen to the fans, and let's next go around, let's really change things up and, for the
Right.
better.
They kind of have to do a make good at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Not because Sword and Shield are bad games, but because they just weren't iterative enough.
I mean, you play
Even
Red and
even
Blue,
Wild
and
Area.
you've kind of played a Pokemon game. You don't. I mean, you can skip through, and it's nice. You can skip 3 or 4 Pokemon game and pick it right back up and all that good stuff. But yeah, there's been hardly any iterations, and the stuff that they have been changing with like the Z moves and all that stuff is just, I don't know. I feel like the Gigantamaxing, if it's not changed, like the Gigantamaxing is cool because the Pokemon look different, but
Dynamaxing.
Dynamaxing, it's kind of lame. I mean, it's just,
They look kind of stupid when they're bigger.
yeah, and it just, I don't know. It just, I've enjoyed it for a Pokemon game, but I mean, we talked about it before, but I don't think I would get the next one unless it's just completely different, or, there's just some major new mechanic or something.
Right. Like, I want them to take the world of Xenoblade Chronicles
Mm-hmm.
2, which is like a big open field, very expansive,
Yeah.
impressive terrain, landscapes, whatever, and just put Pokemon in it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the dream was what, when you first started playing Pokemon and watching the show, it's like, I just want to be in the world, like a huge, like open world, and just catch Pokemon. Yeah. And we kind of got that with the wild area, but was not enough for majority of people. I mean, it's super cool, like watching like a giant Pokemon run towards you. Like, it's kind of scary, but once you get to the regular towns, I'm playing Pokemon again. I'm playing what I've been playing for the last 20 plus years. Yeah, it looks prettier, and there's more platforms and moving platforms and stuff and what have you. But I don't know. I just think they need to, with the next one, really, dive deep, and hopefully this DLC is a starting point for them, and really taking their time to craft a better world for its players.
Right. I also think they could change up the battle system and have it be more like a live turn-based.
Yeah.
Kind of like Final Fantasy 15. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, that would be super cool.
Or like Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
I know you haven't played it, but like you have an option of doing just a regular turn-based, just like Pokemon or whatever have you. Or you can do it live where you're physically running around, but you're still selecting like attack.
Yeah.
Or magic. And it feels more seamless within the world.
Right. I mean,
something like that.
Something like maybe like you control the Pokemon themselves, and then you could run around and dodge, and still have your A button does water gun or whatever. So that would be really cool, to do it that way. But I don't know. I mean, I couldn't see them going that route. I feel like the turn-based thing is gonna probably be here for a long time, but that would be a really cool way of doing that.
Yeah, that would be too difficult to do with all 900 something Pokemon.
Yeah, it probably would, but I don't know.
Unless they rebooted it, I don't know. Did like a spin-off, kind of like Let's Go.
Yeah. Like maybe have like a separate game where it's just one region and that's it. There's nothing else. You only catch the Pokemon on that region. Kind of like starting fresh.
But the gameplay is.
Yeah, but the gameplay is like completely different. Or they just have another Pokemon game that's just different.
Yeah.
than the main line. So I don't know. That's where I'm at with Pokemon. I still enjoy it. I'm definitely gonna finish it. It's been kind of a slow burn for me.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad that they're doing the DLC. They also did a really cool thing with the DLC, like towards the end of the direct, where they said, "Hey, if you go into town right now and go to the train station, you'll see your appropriate person there, and they'll kind of give like some details about the Isle of Armor, and then a Galarian Slowpoke comes out of the train, and you can catch it. So they
That's
kind of
cool.
like build up a little bit of hype in the game for the DLC. And I
Yeah.
don't know other games that I can think of have really done that.
I can.
I mean, Resident Evil 2 definitely had that little they had an achievement to where if you find a letter from Jill for Resident Evil 3, and then I think in the beginning of the game
Oh.
you can hear Nemesis talking or something in the background, since Resident Evil 2 is like a prequel
To
to 3 or maybe
3
3
is
is they kind of play along with each other.
they intertwine.
The stories kind of like intertwine, not necessarily like the characters do, but the timeline intertwines.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool because I mean, I went in there and I caught the Slowpoke, whatever, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm ready for the DLC. I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like they
Completely
ended,
prepared.
they ended the direct with, hey, right now go into the game and here's essentially a free Pokemon, and you just got to catch it.
That's nice.
And they're like, whenever you bring Slowpoke into the Isle of Armor, you can obtain an item to evolve it into a Slowking or a Slowbro.
Mhm.
Maybe you can find it now, but I'm pretty sure you have to wait until the Isle of Armor. But I mean, that's super cool the way they kind of integrated that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Free stuff is always good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely love the free stuff. But I mean,
Oh.
the pricing is $30. You're getting both DLCs for that price. So
It's not bad.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely at least it's not $30. If it was $30 per DLC, I don't know how I
I'd
would
give
have.
him the middle finger and walk away.
Yeah. So I know people are pissed right now. I've kind of been reading the comments and stuff of various videos about, oh my gosh, this is just a paywall for.
The
And
next
I mean, it
thing.
kind of seems like it is, and I just, I don't know what they were kind of thinking after the negativity they've got towards the national decks, and then doing it this way. I don't know.
They should have just stood their ground
Yeah,
and just had new Pokemon. But I don't know. Like,
I mean, they could have been like, hey, these 200 Pokemon are going to be in the game now, and then, but also in the new area, but only in the new area are these new Pokemon.
right.
I think that would have been probably the smarter way to do it.
I just think they didn't telegraph it well.
Yeah.
They didn't communicate it well. That you could still bring in the new Pokemon, or bring in like your old Pokemon that are now new.
Yeah, that weren't previously allowed in the game.
Yeah, for free, but
For free, obviously, yeah. So, I mean, who knows? They may change it to like, but I doubt it. But yeah, they just didn't telegraph that well with the fans after that
No, not
huge
at all.
negativity.
Yeah.
But let's see. Do you want to take a break, or do you want to roll right into the topic of the week?
Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
We need to-
All right, guys, welcome back. We are going to talk about the topic of the week. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, I mean, we've kind of been talking about it already a little bit with Pokemon
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, but just basically, obviously, next generation of consoles are coming out this year, sometime during the holiday season, October through December.
Mhm.
We'll probably know a lot more details towards E3 timeframe. I'm sure PlayStation will do some sort of state of play kind of thing.
Yeah.
They weren't at E3 last year.
I'd bank on them doing that rather than them being at E3.
Yeah. Maybe like February, March. Maybe they'll. I mean, over the last week at CES, they revealed the PS5 logo.
Dude, it looks sick.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I mean,
Amazing.
people were like hating on it or whatever, but like it's PS5. They're not gonna do anything different. They're not
Why
gonna
would
do.
they? Why would they even bother like releasing the logo?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
I don't know.
It's
It
funny.
was kind of silly. It was like the president went on stage, was like, "This is our logo," and he was like, "I'm out." Like nothing. Like A lot of people thought that, since, you know, Microsoft came on stage at the
Game Awards.
the Game Awards and like dropped I mean, I didn't expect that this
No,
soon,
that
like what it
blew
looks
me
like and
away.
stuff. I think people are expecting Sony to kind of do the same thing or give some sort of details, but I think they just talked about some of the specs they've already revealed and then the logo. So yeah, new generation of consoles are coming out.
Right.
Nintendo is the Switch came out 2016?
2017.
Was it
So
27?
yeah.
Was it? Oh god. Oh yeah, it was.
So
So
it's
they're
about
coming
to
up
be
on year 4 of a Switch, right? No, year
well,
3.
year 3.
Year 3.
It'll be 3 years old.
Gosh,
And
yeah, because Kellen was born in May of 2017. Yeah, okay. Um, for some reason I thought it was 2016. So yeah, new consoles are coming out. Microsoft is really going all in on this Game Pass, and
as
their
they
live
should.
service, of course. I mean, they've been absolutely destroying it with in those regards.
Right.
So, and then obviously all the old Xbox games and 360 games are all going to be backwards compatible. And I think PlayStation is kind of doing the same thing, at least with PS4 games. I'm not sure what their PS3 and
Yeah.
lower is looking like. So here lies Nintendo. I mean, they've been killing it with the Switch. Obviously, when they dropped the Lite back
Mhm.
in September.
September, yeah.
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 When they dropped that, I mean that's been killing it. They were obviously smart to get that thing out before the holidays.
Yep.
Get it ready for Pokemon because that's their their main seller. And I believe Nintendo the Switch was the number one selling console of 2019, which is
Oh yeah.
super awesome.
And it was the best selling of 2018, I think.
Yes, I mean obviously it's way younger than Xbox One and PS4. So I mean,
I think it's outsold the Xbox One.
has it caught up to Xbox One?
Yeah.
Dang, that's
So
pretty
it's
crazy. I know PlayStation just hit like over 100 million
which is wild. I didn't
sales, so
reckon that.
that's insane.
Yeah.
So I think Microsoft is going more of a direction of just getting their stuff on everything. There's been that rumor or the talks of getting like the Xbox app on the Nintendo Switch so you can play
Mhm.
Xbox games. That's been kind of in the talks for a while now, I believe. So I think Xbox is just more of like they've been on board with connecting gamers across console. That Sony's really been the one that's been holding out on cross-platform playing, which
They're
is
the sticklers.
it's so stupid. Like it's so stupid. Like it makes so much sense to I prefer the PlayStation controller or I prefer the Xbox controller.
Right.
Whatever you want to play with, you can still play with your friends. That's just the
Yeah.
future. It's going to happen. I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare was like the biggest one to kind of start that.
The
That was like
crossplay.
the biggest game to kind of have that cross platform.
Well,
So
there's
that's super
Fortnite
awesome.
too.
Well, Fortnite started, but like Call of Duty was like the next big thing to come along.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sony's been the big stickler of that. But going back to Nintendo,
Mhm.
what I mean, there's been the rumor of the Switch Pro.
And that's been gaining some more ground lately.
So do you think that's coming this year, or do you think Nintendo even needs to put out a new console?
See, I think they're working on it, and whether it comes out this year or next year or early next year, I have no idea.
Yeah,
But the Switch is already such a separate console. Like it's either someone's only console or it's a secondary console to
yeah.
like an Xbox or PlayStation, and it's kind of already like dug out its own market.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much it'll be affected by the PS5 or new Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, because when you think of Pro, I mean, obviously it's probably going to still do the same thing the original Switch does, obviously,
Yeah.
but maybe a better horsepower, probably 4K compatible, all that good stuff. And like you were saying, it's been that way with every Nintendo console. You don't expect high performance out of these things. You don't
No.
expect the best graphics. I mean, obviously all of Nintendo's first party stuff looks amazing and they really know how to work their hardware, but I just don't feel like there's a market for it right now. I don't think. I mean, maybe we'll see. I don't know, a Switch 2 or the Switch Pro maybe sometime next year, 2021.
Yeah.
I just don't think they need to do it because, like you said, it's it's probably a lot of people's secondary console, to the Xbox, PC, PlayStation.
Right.
So it's got its own little, I don't know, carved out market. I
And
mean,
those people, sure, if they buy the new Xbox or new PlayStation, they buy it, but they're still going to be buying games on the Switch, and they
yeah,
already have it. It's like, I don't know. It's a weird concept. And with the Switch Pro, like at what cost? Is it going to lose its ability to be handheld? Because if that's the case, then you just have a home console. And I
yeah,
know the Switch Lite is a dedicated handheld, but
yeah,
it's a dedicated handheld that you can play The Witcher on.
yeah,
It's a lot different than having a dedicated home console that's still less powerful than the PlayStation 5. It's like
right,
I'm okay with having a less powerful console if I can play in my bed or
yeah,
play it on the train. But you know, if I have a Switch Pro and it can only stay in the dock or whatever, or it's just a dedicated home console and it's still less powerful, and there are no
yeah.
exclusives for that system, then
And then at what's gonna be the cost of this thing? I mean, the Switch is already $300. I feel like that's probably a pretty nice price. Maybe we'll see a price drop this year, 250 maybe.
yeah,
That's the only thing I can really think of. But I mean, gosh, the Switch Pro 4K, whatever. I mean, is that gonna be a $400 thing? I mean, Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's ever had any console above three.
no,
So, and then all of a sudden, you're kind of, to go to the Pro, you're kind of making it harder for developers that want to develop for the Switch because now they have to create games that can run on all three systems. I mean, the Switch Lite and the base Switch
they're effectively the same.
they're pretty much the same thing. I mean, I mean, the graphical power is probably going to be a little bit better on the Switch just because you can dock it, and that's about it. But when you throw in a Pro, then then these developers have got to make sure that it runs great on the Pro, but also run great on the base Switch. And I think that's what a lot of people had problems with, like the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, is because you have these two separate consoles. You've got to make sure it runs on the base one first, and then you're going to get some extra power with the Pro
Then
and stuff. So
go from there.
so a lot of games, especially I think the most recent one I heard was Control,
Which
runs pretty nice on the Pro, but when you get to the base PS4, it kind of
it's terrible.
it kind of gets like muddled up and like frame rate and stuff. So it's a weird situation where you have pros and stuff like that. And obviously, in the middle of a console's lifetime, you're going to like iterate and make it better. It's just kind of
Yeah.
makes it a little bit more difficult to develop games.
I just don't want to
Yeah.
see another new Nintendo 3DS situation where they have a more powerful 3DS marginally.
But only a certain amount of games are
Yeah,
exclusive.
the only games that I can remember were Xenoblade Chronicles 3D.
Yep.
That was an exclusive.
Was Majora's Mask exclusive?
No, that one was on the base.
Okay.
But you could use like the little C nub
Yeah,
to
yeah.
control the camera.
So there was only like a couple games that were like considered new.
And then I think Binding of Isaac was exclusive to the new. I don't know why, but it
Yeah,
was.
I mean that's kind of a thing that's weird with some of the naming for this stuff because the new Nintendo 3DS, like
You
it's just
didn't travel that far
it's
to.
it splits your audience and it just kind of makes it weird.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
the last thing they want is to have to battle with themselves to sell a product.
Yeah,
Even
and
right now, like I've had friends text me on, like they're so indecisive on whether they want to get a Switch or Switch Lite, and they just can't decide if they're
yeah. I mean, I think I would always recommend just the base Switch.
Yeah.
just because you can kind of do everything with it. I'm kind of wondering what the demographic is for the Lite, because
Probably a lot younger.
I'm sure there's a lot of people in your situation and podcasts that I listen to. A lot of these people have gotten the secondary Switch,
Mhm.
and they've made their Switch Lite their primary because they take it everywhere with them, and then they make their base Switch, the secondary, because it's at home and it's on Wi-Fi always, and you're never going to leave your house with it now that you have this second Switch. Now, unfortunately, some games, especially like Pokemon, don't have uh, the cloud save, so it's like a little weird with certain stuff.
Yeah, I've just realized I can only play that at home
Yeah,
because I can't take my regular Switch out with me.
right. So it's a little weird in those regards, in those certain situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know if I don't think there's any room for a third Switch. I feel like that would be way too much. And then do you discontinue the base Switch? I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel like they need to do anything with.
Yeah. If anything, I think they should just do like a new. Don't call it the new Switch, but like a Switch 2, like in 2021 or 2022.
Yeah. I think that's probably the best bet I could think of.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's room for it. If they're gonna discontinue the old Switch or something,
Yeah.
and then just have the upgraded and then just have the Lite. But I still don't think that move should happen until 2021.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
because
I'm
the
here for
Switch
it.
is, huh?
I'm here. I don't not want it.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, definitely. It's Nintendo. Like you want like everything they get.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
And if it can still undock, if it still does the switching, then
I don't know. I just think probably E3 they'll probably announce like new colors for the Switch Lite. Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe some new colors for like the base Switch. The main thing I want them to upgrade is their online. I think coming into how good Xbox is and PlayStation's catching up with their online service, and as far as like the free games and stuff they offer, I think Nintendo's got to get on board with that stuff.
they have to.
I mean, having the NES and SNES games are cool. I don't want to play those games. It's cool that they're there.
There's
I don't get excited for that kind of stuff.
they've been beaten to death too.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten them. I've got the SNES and the NES Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've got them on my Switch. I think it's time that we start getting, the kind of the eShop back that was on like the Wii U or like on the Wii U and all that stuff, where you could buy
Wii U, 3DS.
Wii U, GameCube games, 64 games, like everything. Game
Yeah.
Boy games, why not? Just put it all on there. And then have like a rotating free game thing. Every month or something, you get a decent like first party Nintendo game. Like,
Not an old one.
yeah, like throw
but-
like Yoshi's World on there, Crafted World or something, or Captain Toad Treasure Tracker or some sort of like older-ish game. That's not quite the newest thing, obviously, but I don't know. I think it's time to Nintendo kind of upgrade their
step it up.
Yeah, just roll out some awesome free games for people.
Yeah, that would be great.
I think this is the year for them to, if they're not gonna have a pro, and I don't think they need it right now. I think it's time for them to focus on their online stuff,
right?
Because it's just not
really vamp that up.
I mean, it's super cheap. I mean, it's $5 a month. I mean, it's super cheap. It's
even cheaper than that. It's $20 a year.
Well, it's $20 a year, but I think it's $5 a month. I don't think I've. Well, that's what I pay a month. I haven't done the year thing yet.
Wait, you pay $5 a month?
Yeah.
That's $60 a year.
Yeah.
No, really?
Mhm.
Just do the yearly.
Yeah, I know. I need to do that. I need to start doing that with like all the stuff. Just to like buy it outright or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like they need to upgrade their online service. I mean, obviously like Smash and Splatoon. I mean, as far as like the connectivity and the network, it's always been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember like Splatoon, you could just jump into a match like immediately. Like there was hardly any wait time. But yeah, as far as like a service and value, I think they need to get some better stuff or like some original stuff. I mean, they had Tetris 99, which was cool, but other than that, that's like been the only really original game. I mean, they did have that Kirby Clash game or whatever that came out
Yeah. Was
earlier
that
this year. It's like a
exclusive?
4-player, 8-player multiplayer game thing.
Right.
I
But that
didn't. I
wasn't
never actually.
anything to write home about.
No, I mean it was just like a free game, and you could. It's got like microtransactions and stuff in it. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just needed to upgrade their stuff.
They need to get with the times, man.
Yeah.
Finally.
So we'll see. I'm definitely excited for this year's E3, more so than I've
It's gonna be a big one.
ever had been, because I mean, obviously the year of new consoles and stuff. You know, everyone's coming out guns blazing.
You're just excited for Halo.
Oh yeah, dude. Definitely. But I'm also excited just to see how Nintendo responds, because
Right.
I don't know. I feel like I just get so hyped up for their directs, and then like I'm always slightly disappointed by them.
Always, every time. I don't even know what I want, but I'm always
Yeah, but like I don't know, man. Just remake Ocarina of Time, put it on the Switch. Remake all the Zelda games, put it on there.
Yeah.
Remake Skyward Sword and take out motion control garb.
Maybe I'll finish it if they do.
Yeah. But
I've heard rumors, probably wrong, but rumors that Master Chief Collection could come to the Switch.
really?
Yeah.
I mean, if they have like an Xbox app or something on there, I mean, you theoretically should be able to play every Game Pass game at least.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's the way they're going to go, definitely with Xbox. So
I mean, they've already put Cuphead. They put Ori. I bought Ori, just haven't played it yet.
yeah, I never actually
yeah.
did play that game. I know it's on Game Pass. So I think I need to play it before the second one comes out. I think it comes out next month, doesn't it?
I think so.
So
Oh, yeah.
I need to check that game out. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for that topic. If you guys ever want to come on the show, just if you know us personally, you can always just text us or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can always email us gamingwiththebros@yahoo.com.
Yes.
email
Or if you
us,
have any topics or questions you want to ask.
Yeah, like we were talking about last week. I think eventually, I think I like the news. Obviously, the games we've been playing. I do want to get at some point where we can just do emails instead of having to come up with a topic of the week every week. So yeah, if you want to just email in like random topics, doesn't even have to be gaming related.
Right.
Just throw it in, whatever you want to talk about. We'll bring it up, but if it's appropriate. But we'll talk about that, and that's kind of like the vision I see for the future. So that would be super cool
for episode 10 and beyond.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna try to push for a guest next week.
Okay.
Try to find someone on our own. But yeah, if you're interested in coming on, always just shoot us an email. And if you want to leave some feedback on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any other, we actually weren't on iHeartRadio, and when I checked the website, and I did get us on there, so we are on there now. So just leave us a review. Leave us a review and say how you're liking the show and all that good stuff. It's much appreciated.
So we're officially everywhere. Is that?
Yes, I believe so. I think.
Correct.
Let me double check.
Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. I can't think of anyone else. Now there's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
Outlets. Oh.
Let me just look at my phone because I think I'm logged out on. Let's see. Honey, why you calling me? I was listening to that song earlier. Yeah, I think we're on everything. iHeartRadio, like Overcast, Stitcher, all that good stuff. So we should be like pretty much everywhere, like on the main stuff. So yeah, just if you wouldn't mind just leaving us a review and give suggestions if you want to.
Leave us an honest review.
Yeah.
That's 5 stars or higher.
Yeah, 5 stars. You could talk all the junk you want. Just make sure it's 5 stars. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this week's show, episode 9 in the wraps. Next week's a big one, episode 10.
Double digits.
Double digits, man. Double digits in 2020.
Wow.
So hopefully there's some good news over the next week or so. We'll be back with you guys again on Sunday.
Sunday at 8:30.
Yeah, Sunday at 8:30. I think we've been able to usually nail the 8:30 time frame.
We've stuck to it pretty well. We're always a few minutes late, but
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everyone watching, and we'll see y'all on the next episode.
see y'all next week.
Later.
And so much in Zealand, we'll hear everything except what we need to hear. Sleepless analysis for the restless, time just flies.